When it comes to performance, lighter equals better, right? F1 car designers are always trying to save weight. Recent marathon world records have been set by runners wearing the lightest weight shoes. My mum always used to have a wee before stepping on the scales at Weight Watchers. So lighter equals better. Well, FootJoy certainly think so, because they've put the brand new FootJoy Fuel on a crash course diet. This is, I think, their lightest shoe ever. So are they any good, or have FootJoy gone too far? In this video, I'll let you know how they fit, feel and perform. I'll share what I like and what I don't. Firstly, let's cover off a few of the key details. So here in the UK, these retail for £140 and in the US, it's $130. In terms of sizing, I'd recommend going down half a size compared to your usual shoe size. So for example, if you're a 9 in Nike like me, then I'd recommend going down to an 8.5. In terms of the fit, I would say that these shoes are regular, but kind of tiptoeing its way to the more narrow side. What I can confirm is that these are some seriously light golf shoes. I think they're probably the lightest I've ever tried. Now, the first iteration of the FootJoy Fuel wasn't exactly heavy itself. When I stuck it on the scales, it come in at around 318 grams. But FootJoy have done a lot of strategic weight saving with this new one by carving out quite a bit of the actual midsole foam and changing the materials being used, which means that the new one actually weighs in at 283 grams, which is about an 11% saving compared to the old one. To give you a little bit of context, I also stuck the FootJoy Pro SL X on the scales, and that weighed in at 441 grams, meaning that the Fuel is actually around 35% lighter than the Pro SL X. In fact, I've got it down here. I've never really considered, I'm throwing these shoes all over the place, I've never really considered the Pro SLX as a heavy shoe, at least not particularly heavy, but when you have the two side by side, well yeah, the FootJoy Fuel really does feel as light as a feather. Feather? So what do I like about this shoe? Well, first of all, the comfort. Despite having quite a lot of that midsole foam strategically carved out from the insides of this shoe, it still is a nice, comfortable shoe to wear. I wore it for 18 holes straight out of the box and I didn't get any blisters whatsoever, and my feet felt surprisingly fresh at the end of the round. FootJoy are still using the Strata Light midsole foam in this, which isn't necessarily their softest foam. It's trying to balance softness with a lightweight performance. And so the new FootJoy Fuel isn't nearly the softest feeling shoe underfoot. It's perfectly comfortable, but if you're looking for that real soft cloud-like feeling, then this simply isn't offering that sensation. I was also really impressed with the performance of this shoe. Despite its lightweight structure, I didn't really have any problems out on the course in terms of traction or stability. If I put the Pro SLX side by side, you can see that FootJoy are kind of mimicking those fins that kind of go in this region here on the outsole, and then you've got some smaller pointed traction points towards the toe and towards the heel, and then also you can see that you don't really have any traction in the middle part of the shoe on either of them. Now, I used the Fuels in very wet, muddy conditions, and I'm pleased to say that I didn't slip once. So I got plenty of traction out of these. That's probably going to suit the majority of golfers, and the same can be said for stability. These aren't necessarily the most stable golf shoes that you can buy, but that's not what FootJoy are really aiming for here. They're aiming to give you a very lightweight, comfortable shoe that's going to give the majority of golfers enough stability. Now, FootJoy have got a TPU harness kind of going on the underside of the shoe, so you can just see it popping out from the edge of the midsole there, and you can actually hear it. It's kind of like going right through the middle of the shoe, and it comes on up on the other side of the shoe there. And that's giving you a good bit of stability, helping to resist the shoe from twisting in the middle, but you can see that you've still got you know, a fair amount of kind of flex in this shoe. So this isn't the most stable shoe that you'll ever get. I did my waterproof test on these shoes by pouring 300 milliliters of water across the upper as well as the bottom of the laces. And I'm pleased to say that they only let in a really teeny tiny small amount of water. Now there's no gusset on the edge of that tongue there, so it is possible that water will get through if you step in a heavy puddle or you're playing in very, very heavy wet conditions, but they did a really good job of keeping the majority of that water out. Another thing that I like with this shoe is the sporty design, something that they've, I think, improved on compared to the original Fuel. You have got a few little detailing aspects, so you can see on the material just around the laces, it's got kind of square pattern to it that you can just make out. The upper itself is a synthetic material, and again, that's probably been used to help save weight compared to leather, which I think would be a heavier upper all around. You have got a little bit of detailing here on the rear of the shoe, so you can see the texture is slightly different at the back, and they've also improved the look from the rear as well. You can see here on the original version, it was just kind of a plain white heel tab that discarded a little bit and just kind of stuck out. I'd say much prefer the detail on the new one. In terms of the dislikes, it's not necessarily the most breathable synthetic upper that you've got there. So the fact that this is a very, very lightweight shoe, and you're probably going to want to wear this in the hot summer months, it would have been nice maybe if this was a slightly more breathable shoe. The other thing to think about with this shoe is that its firmness won't be for everyone. Some might just find this a little bit too firm. If you're out walking 18 holes, I know a lot of people just like to have the most comfortable, softest feeling shoe that you can possibly get. In terms of alternatives, I definitely think you would probably want to consider the FootJoy Pro SLX. Yes, it's a much heavier shoe, but it's also got more in the way of stability. I'd actually say it's a bit more of a bigger, wider fit, and it's certainly a lot softer underfoot. One other alternative that I think you might want to consider is the Adidas Code Chaos 25. Now again, putting these shoes side by side, the Code Chaos, despite being advertised as lightweight, definitely is significantly heavier than the FootJoy Fuel, but it is going to be offering you a much softer underfoot feeling because of that Adidas Boost material there you've got at the heel and on the forefoot. If you are in the market for a new pair of golf shoes, then you should definitely sign up to my free monthly Golf Deals newsletter, where I share the best and cheapest deals that I find every month straight to your inbox. Tap the like and subscribe buttons if you found this video helpful, and if you are thinking about buying a new pair of golf shoes, then you're probably going to want to check out what I thought was my best golf shoes of last year, so I'll include that video right here.